Alrighty folks, welcome back. It's been a minute, but today it's a Friday evening and we have some brass that we need to resize. Hope everyone is doing well. I know I certainly am. A little tired, had a long day, but no worries. We're here at the old Rock Chucker. We have some FC14 head stamps. We're going to be using our Redding full-length sizing die. And of course the Redding Imperial sizing wax. That's the good stuff right there, tell you what. Now let me see if I can see if we're showing up here. It's in there somewhere, right? Make sure to say hey when you guys drop in. Ooh, there we are. Ooh, got to turn that volume down. Anyways, hope you guys are doing good today. But let's get to it. Let me know if the audio is a little funky or too loud, too soft, whatever. As you can see, we're streaming in 720p because of, well, I haven't bought a new camera since about 2008, 2010-ish, somewhere in there. Anyways, the Imperial wax, just a thin little bit here on the body. You don't want any on the shoulders, that might cause a hydraulic dent. And then you want to get some into the case mouth on the inside diameter there. And that is so when we come down, we can slide over that expanding mandrel and not have any excessive tugging or issues like that. So, just going to get a little here on the Q-tip. And we're just going to go around in there. Might take a while to get some built up here on the old Q-tip. But I was doing a bunch of these earlier. Figured I'd be like, hey, let's hop online and see what everyone else is doing. Very nice. Just like that, we've popped our primer. And these aren't too dirty. I'm going to go ahead and trim the ones that need trimmed and finish prepping and all that fun stuff. Then I'll have to dig my tumbler out of the old Connex box outside. Long story short, had my garage ripped up, just had a new one poured. So I had to put everything from the garage outside into a shipping container. So, as you can see, we moved some things inside, but some of it's also still packed up. I wasn't really planning on doing a whole bunch of brass prep, but got some projectiles on the way, so I was like, man, I could use some brass that's ready to go. And that's what we're doing. Sorry, just checking in there, see what it looks like on the phone. Anyways, how are you guys doing this weekend? Got any big plans? Doing anything fun? You going to the range? You guys shooting anything? What y'all doing? What y'all doing this weekend? You guys doing any casting? Been casting lately? Have you guys been harvesting any lead lately? Oh, god dang. That's why you gotta get some lube on the inside of those necks there. It's generally not this sticky, but these were, they weren't cleaned at all. Generally, I'll throw them in the dry tumbler with some corncob media, and that'll generally leave a little dust on it, a little bit inside the neck there. It'll make them a little less sticky, I guess. coming in and out off the expanding mandrel. But I guess if we also properly lubricate our cases, then there's not a whole lot to worry about, is there? Yeah, I do enjoy the old Q-tip technique. Make sure you get it in there real good like. Well, and of course you see the rock chucker throwing primers. Classic rock chucker, am I right? So this summer went by pretty quick. How about you guys? Did you do anything exciting? Go out on vacation? I have been MIA for a while. I just got kind of sick of social media, both as a viewer and participating in all the nonsense as well. Just needed a break. Man. Maybe I should pull this out here and kind of clean it and make sure it's not all gunked up. Let me run this case here and then we'll make sure our die is nice and clean. Yeah. That one was much smoother. I made sure to get inside the neck. But anyways, let's clean off our little expanding mandrel here. Ooh, yeah, look at all that gunk. Now that is nice. If the 720 camera can focus from 2008, yeah, let's get some of that cleaned off, and maybe that'll smooth some of this out. Probably not. I mean, it's just lube, and like I said, they weren't tumbled, but they're not dirty either. They just were shot and put back into their little ammo MTM can thing. There we go. Mr. James Pollard, how are you tonight, sir? Hope you're doing well. How have you been lately? Hope everything is good. So yeah, let's just hit that little ball with a bit of lube. And I don't know what Redding says, but Hornady says to make sure that your decapping pin is 3/8 or 3/16 of an inch. Ooh, sticking out. There we go. Perfect. Guess I also have my headspace comparator and all this other stuff, but I didn't even really spend any time setting up the die. I just kind of went a little bit past touching the shell holder, and they all passed the case gauge, so don't worry there. What am I making tonight? Oh, Jesus. Oh my God. Ooh. What we're trying to make here is some 308, but we gotta learn to size our cases properly first. Jeez, that was... Let's try this one again here. Gotta get it inside the neck, like I said. Yeah, we're making some 308 cases tonight. We got from American Reloading, I bought one of those premium mixed projectile packages. So hopefully we're going to get a bunch of different Barnes bullets and different crazy tip things and stuff like that. So we'll have all kinds of weird stuff to test and play with and just make random lots of ammo out of. They were cheap, so it's something fun to play with. Maybe I can use the heavy ones in 300 Blackout. I did just get a Mossberg MVP in the 300 Blackout. Don't have a can, but I wanted a bolt action, so that's what I've got right now. I've been playing with lately. It does take AR magazines, so that's pretty sweet. Mr. Nick, what is up? How are you this evening? Hope you had a good week. Q-tip's not lasting too long. Yeah, anyways, like I was saying, I got my garage all torn up. They just repoured it today, so it's what do you say, curing? Hardening? I don't know. Mr. Thorzax, how are you today, sir? Hope you're doing good this evening. There we go. So yeah, garage all fixed up. But all my crap is shoved out in a storage container right now. Should I probably move this chat box to the other side since it's covering up what I'm actually working on? That's funny. Give me 1 second. Let me, here we go. There we go. All right, hang on 1 second. I'm gonna move the chat over to the other side so it's not blocking the screen here. There we go. Yeah, that'll work. How's that? Can you see what I'm doing now? All right. Mr. Neil, how we doing? 308 Win reloading on a Friday night. Yes, sir. Brass looks like it's copper wash. I wet tumbled it a long time ago, and it has just been sitting in the ammo can for probably 2 years since I fired it, so I don't know if it's got a little aging or tarnish or whatnot. But these are some similarly aged Lake City cases. I don't know. I never really figured out the perfect wet tumbling mixture to get it perfect, so I always might have had a little bit too much citric acid in there, if you know what I'm saying. So that could also be part of it. I was always a fan of dry tumbling anyways. Oh, there we go. Very nice. Heard from the hot lead zone? No, I have not heard from Mr. Fortune Cookie. Beep, 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 beep. I've been busy out here at the old Dummy Round compound. Just been busy this summer working out in the yard, in the woods, and currently trying to clear out a little spot to work on a foundation to eventually put in a barn. Gonna put in a pole barn. Yeah. And eventually I'll have all my crap out there so I'm out of the wife's way. I can have all my toys. We can have casting sessions. I'll probably have to stream on, like Rumble or Twitch or whatever. But yeah, eventually I'll have a pole barn out there with a reloading room. All that fun stuff set up. I'll get the Wi-Fi ran. And eventually have the real Dummy Round compound set up. And my wife doesn't know yet, but I'm going to put a window right outside the reloading room so I can just peek out and be about 85 yards from the target. That sounds pretty fun in my mind, you know. I don't know if the neighbors are going to like it, but we're out in the county, so, not much. I mean, I'm not an ass about it, but, welcome to the neighborhood. Too much citric acid turns the brass pink. I've heard that. I did that with a bunch of 9mm. It looked almost like, pink, rather. It shot just fine, and when it fired and whatever in the chamber, it scratched off the pink, and then it looked like normal brass again. Hey Neil, I appreciate it. It's been a while since I actually put out any content. I appreciate you folks' patience. But like I said, I was just taking a little break from the social medias. Not done, not going anywhere, just a little hiatus, if we will. What are we going to load as projectiles? So I got one of those premium mix packages from American Reloading. So it's like all the pulled stuff that's not just a Full Metal Jacket. So it'll be some, Votel hollow points. We'll get some Barnes tip stuff, maybe some Hornady ELD stuff, maybe some burgers thrown in there. Who knows? It's a mixed premium pack. So we will see. Looks like we lost the chat here. I got to refresh on my monitor so I can see what you guys are saying. The actual streaming computer's back here behind me. All right. Is it back on? I think we're back on. Let me push the play button. Whoop. Sorry for the technical difficulties. How's the audio? Is the level whatever, I just have, once again, my this webcam from like 2008 with the built-in microphone. Don't really have a real stream setup here going on just yet, but like I said, once we get the old barn going, should have a somewhat permanent setup. I'm going to eventually get nice cameras, or at least one nice camera around what I'm doing. Maybe a couple to get some sweet angle shots or something. But that's a little ways in the future still. Here was another primer. Gotta make sure to pick all those up so little puppy don't eat none of them. Yeah, I've never actually communicated with Mr. Cookie outside of YouTube in the comment section, so I just called him Mr. Cookie and I think it made him laugh once, so he responded. But other than that, I have no relationship with Mr. FC45LC. What have you guys been loading recently? Have you guys done any casting? Any shooting? Any fun range trips? What have you been up to? Wish I knew why this computer was lagging around. Oh, probably because my the lube is stuck on the pad of the whoops. It was holding down the button. Uh-oh. Anyways, I got some federal brass here we're working on. I did some Lake City stuff earlier. And I'll have to whip out the old Lyman case prep station here and clear some space. I think all of my primer pockets have been previously reamed or whatever. But I'm going to have to check them because I think I saw a couple strays sneak in there that I haven't shot, but I might have picked them up at the range. So you always gotta check, No casting, mostly 300 black subs and 458 SOCOM subs and supers. Man, 458 SOCOM, that sounds like a fun one, I'll tell you what. I should have gotten that one instead of the 450 Bushmaster. I do love the Bushmaster, but the straight wall, it has its ups and downs, whereas the SOCOM has a little itty bitty shoulder, just like the Blackout, so it head spaces differently, and you have a better chance of properly seating and crimping and doing all that stuff when you're not having to headspace on the case mouth and you have a shoulder to do that off of. If that makes sense. Anyways, long story short, need to use more lube, and I should have went with the SOCOM before I went with the Bushmaster, but it is what it is. Loaded up 209 mil tonight. Very nice, sir. What bullet was that? I need to loan some I need to load some 9mm, but first I need to cast some projectiles. What are your guys' favorite 9mm loads? Mr. Sean, how are you tonight? What do you use to reload 9? Over the past year, I have used a crap ton of Winchester 244. It's a ball powder. It flows very nicely in your powder measure. It's clean burning once you get to the proper pressures. You know, they take lower charge weights, so it's fairly economical. So I've been using a lot of Winchester 244. However, 700X is one of my all-time favorites for pretty much everything. Shotgun, pistols, cast, reduced rifle loads. 700X, that's a good one. Get a 458 SOCOM, I'm going to have both. You're totally right. I mean, I will eventually, you know. I will eventually. I mean, what's your setup, turret press? Or, well, this here is a single stage RCBS rock chucker. You can see I only have one die in at a time, so I can only perform one task at a time. However, if we, I'm probably going to screw up the camera, but if you turn over here, we have a Dillon that I have set up as a turret, but it's a progressive where you have 4 stations and you can go from start to finish and crank out a full load every single time you pull the handle. But over here on single stage world, it's a little different, a little bit slower. Oh, see, camera's moving. There we go. There we go. I would love a real turret press like T7, or maybe even the Lyman All-American I hear is a really nice one. Do you prefer ball in pistol caliber? I like how ball powders flow through the powder measure, but flake powders generally fill up more of your case, so you're less likely to have a double charge. So you'll just overflow and it'll be very obvious, whereas a ball powder could have the same charge weight but take up much less volume, and thus you might not see a double charge or even notice when you seat the bullet. So balls and flakes, you know, they all have their ups and downs, and meh. Really depends. Some people like that safety factor, visually inspecting, seeing their case fill, and knowing that if they get a double charge, it will indeed overflow. Alright. HP 38 is a ball powder. I have not used HP 38. Is that the one that is Winchester 231? Is that one of those that has 2 names but it's the same thing? Kind of like H110, 296, you know? Same powders. They bottle them separately and create competition with themselves or whatever. It's fun when you own all the companies in the market. Thorzak's like HS6, Unique, number 7. I have only used Unique out of those. But Accurate number 7 I hear is really good. That's on the slower burning side, so you can get a fuller case fill and probably some higher velocities there as well. But Unique, people say Unique's really dirty. It can be, like most powders, if you run on the lower end of their, pressure spectrum. Unique can be dirty if you run it at low pressures, but if you run it towards, the maximum for whatever cartridge you're loading, Unique can burn very cleanly. HS6 is excellent for 9 mil, 4.5 grains with a 147 is a nice subsonic load. What kind of velocity are you hitting there, Neil? Is that like right at 1050 or 1100, or is it like 850? Concur, audio is good. Awesome, thanks. I'm really surprised. Like, seriously, this camera here was from like 2008 or something. Still rocking and rolling, and apparently the microphone's good too. So that's pretty cool, right? You used the last of your number 7 on that batch. Ooh. Don't you hate that? I guess you'll have to either get more of the number 7 or go to your next thing on the shelf, right? Unique and Universal, pretty good all-around powders. I've always heard that about Universal. I heard it was very similar to Unique as far as charge weight and whatever, but I've never used it. It was one of the Hodgdon International series of powder, no, the Clays series. So Hodgdon Clays, International Clays, and Universal Clays have all been temporarily on hold or whatever during the old shortages, whatever they're talking about 4 years later. So yeah, the Clays line, including Universal, have not been around in quite some time. Number 7 has excellent accuracy. I use it for my 132 grain semi-wad cutter loads. That sounds interesting. A while back, I did the Lee 358-105 semi-wad cutter. I used those at 9mm, and those were surprisingly accurate as well. Surprisingly accurate. They save on lead, and they punch perfect holes in the paper because it's a semi-wad cutter. Easy now. Right about 850 FPS. That's perfect for blinking, dude. If it cycles your gun, then and it goes where you want it. Who cares how fast it goes? Who cares how fast it goes? As long as it goes where you point it. As long as it goes where you point it, who cares what speed it gets there? Trying to get back into cowboy shooting. That sounds fun. I mean, I have like a single action Ruger Red Hawk and that ridiculous Freedom Arms Model 83 and 454 Casull. I don't think that would be a particularly great cowboy action outfit, you know? But if someone's using that, let me know. I would love to see that happen. Neil, have you been jumping on the quick turnarounds on the cans lately? I've heard they're down to like a week or two, you know, as far as wait times on your paperwork. All right, Nick, you have a good night, sir. We will see you next time. Have a wonderful weekend, sir. I feel like I see chat on the screen, but I don't see it on the side where the chat's actually like on the web page. So if I'm not answering your questions or comments, I do apologize. Did I just size that one? Let's check. Oh, it's perfect. Oh, yeah. I think someone mentioned 12 gauge earlier. 12 gauge is fun. I've got a bunch of the Lee, well, I had a bunch of the Lee 7/8 ounce slug I loaded up. I think it was 24 grains of number 2. Those suckers are moving, brother. I'll tell you what. I need to get out and do some range videos. What kind of stuff you guys want to see? Like, I don't know, sometimes I feel like you get in a routine and it's like you're doing the same thing, but it's different as a viewer. So what do you guys want to see, you know? You have purchased 4 cans since January. The wait times were 13 days, 4 days, and 10 days. Dude, that's freaking crazy. I need to just, like, get one. Like, sorry, wife, I'm doing it. Because, you know, when you had to wait 6 years, 10 years, 6 months, whatever, how long it used to take, you know, up to a year, I heard, sometimes longer, depending on it. But you could have already bought like 10 suppressors by now. But I'm always just like, I don't want to wait the waiting period. But I guess if it's, you know, if it's like, you know, a quick turnaround, I still don't want to give the government $200 in extortion money. They can suck it. A B version of Johnny's reloading bench. Hey, that's a compliment. I'm glad I can get to a B grade. That's pretty sick. Thank you, Mr. Thor. Whatever happened to Mr. Bench? I haven't seen him in a long time. His last video was like, yeah, we're going to make a big series. And he did one video. But I can't say anything. I haven't posted it in about 6 months. So I don't have any room to talk. Like my load development videos. Okay. Like from here on the bench, or like go out and shoot. Excuse me. Go out and shoot and then review the target, and or do the whole dang thing together. Did I get the neck? Beep, beep, beep. Get a can, they the bee's knees. I have probably multiple friends that all have cans, and they bring them over and I get to shoot their fun stuff. So I have experienced the cannage. My buddy has a little 11.5-inch SBR, you know, 5.56 steel. That's all decked out, and it is the loudest, most concussive, ridiculous. Yeah, just shooting that thing without the can is crazy. It's crazy. Re-entered the workforce, got photo to YouTube. Hey, good for him. I don't know what he used to do. He was some kind of like IT or something, computer networking. I don't know. But good for him. I hope he's doing what he enjoys doing. Because apparently there's been a bunch of changes on the YouTubes that I, you know, kind of wasn't here for. Now I'm back and I don't know the rules, but apparently it's really stupid. So if I get banned for not loading ammo right now, YouTube, all I'm doing is making these cases slippery so they can go in there. That's all that's happening. This is not loading ammunition. But yeah, I guess the rules are really silly these days. Beep. What do we got? We got one more piece in there. All right. All right, one more. Then I'm going to have to get out the old case prep center, which I hope isn't annoyingly loud. It's probably going to be annoyingly loud, but I apologize in advance. You can feel free to leave if it is in fact annoying. But I got to get my brass prep, you know? Or if it is overly annoying, we can move over to the blackout that I was loading up here. Let's talk about that real quick. We've been doing blackouts. I told you I got a bolt action Here is the Mid-South exclusive black poly tip. These are the 110 grain. They're just VMAX clones. Yeah, get that fuzzy link crap off there. Yeah, just VMAX clones, but they have black tips. Isn't that neat and fancy? So I've been working up a load for the bolt action. I think I stopped at 20 grains with the 110 of H110. Yeah, H110 with 110 grain bullet. 20 grains so far. Was looking decent, but I was kind of screwing with the scope for the other 4 groups working up to that, so I can't really count any of the other stuff. You know? Don't you hate that? You waste a bunch of time loading up all this stuff and being super precise and using your little trickler and trying to get to the last kernel, and then you just like have a bad day at the range and your scope's off or your crap's not torqued properly and all of your testing was for naught. A lot of brass. Yeah, no pressure signs at 20 grains though. I think I could move up a little bit if I'm feeling it. I forget the other source of data, but Hornady stopped at 20.2 grains. I think somebody else went to like 21.5 or something, which is compressed. I don't like dealing with that because it leaves little indentions on your bullet and it can mess with your seating depth variations and such. So if I can just be right at 100% and not compressed, that makes me happy. And it was right at 1 inch with that 20 grain load. I didn't have the chronograph out. I'm guessing maybe 2400 would be on the high end. Be cool to get 23 plus. And that's out of a 16-inch barrel. It's sitting right over here, but I can't show it on a live stream, so you know, can't do that on the live stream. Alright, let's pull out the old Case Prep Center. I guess I can keep this baggy for something. I guess I wasn't prepared to move all this crap around, guys. I'm sorry. Yep, don't need to comparatorize. Don't need to headspace. I mean, obviously, headspace is important, but yeah, we'll leave him there. Don't need any Q-tips. Okay. He was at a creator block as far as content, so yeah, all good. Yeah. I mean, I understand it. He did the same thing. Well, not the same thing. He did a lot of stuff for probably 5 years solid, and I appreciate his contributions to the space. So, good for him. He doesn't owe anybody crap, so if he wants to quit and not say anything or whatever, that's on him. Good for him. He doesn't owe us anything. Alright, anyways, I guess I could like sort them if they need trimmed or not, so I don't have to screw around with this thing, because that's not my favorite. And then just make sure to touch up the case mouths, and then make sure they're also reamed for the primer pocket. Then I would need the little calipers here, and another bin to sort into. What is the max trim for 308? Is it 2015 or 2005? Is that where you start or is that where you end? Hey, guess what? We have resources. I think 2015 is the maximum. Come on, somewhere in there. 307 Winchester. 308 Winchester. We have the maximum case overall length is not our maximum case length, which, yes, maximum case length, 2.015 inches. Trim 2, 2.005. Perfect. So, anything under 2015, I'm not going to freaking trim because Brass Prep sucks. And let's, I need one of these. Macro bin, there we go. So we're going to do a bit of sorting here first, folks. Oop, there's not enough room in here. Can't wait to have a real workspace again. Okay, this one does not need trimmed. How am I going to do that? Is that loud? Is that annoying? Can you even hear that? Yeah, perfect. I guess if it needs trimmed, I'll pick up the trimmer. Otherwise, there we go. Oh, this guy is short. And he might need, oh, we already reamed him out good. Yeah. The Hornady book is one of my favorites. They have a good array of different powder companies. Oh, that one needs, yeah, get. Yeah, I know some people really like to swage, but I don't care and I just ream it out. So, did I do the neck? Okay, we got into. Yeah, the Hornady book is one of my favorites. And yes, Lyman case prep machine. Also, very, very nice. Dang, some of these are short. But they're also not swaged or reamed, so are they short from the factory? I got some Lake City 13s that are less than 2,005 thousandths of an inch. But yes, this Lyman Case Prep Express, I love this machine right here, brother. It's got 5 stations. I'm only using 2 of them right now. If I have to trim, I'll use that guy. Ooh, like this one needs trimmed. He's long. Alright. Really need a better place to set all my crap, but whatever. Using the old Lee case length gauge and shell holder. Not my favorite, but there we go. It works and you can throw it onto your case prep center. And just a quick touch up on the case mouth. Very nice, yes. Yes, sir, the Lyman. I actually like the Lee book a lot too. But the Lyman one is probably my second favorite. So yeah, I need to go dig out my tumbler from the Connex box. I thought about wet tumbling, but the corn cob is just so easy. And I really just need to get the lube off, so yeah, they can go in for like 15 to 20 minutes and be done. I didn't even measure that one, did I? Whoopsie. Didn't measure that one. And I can't tell if, I think that was some factory primer sealant on there. There we go. So Mr. Thorzex, I remember you had a video long ago talking about forming and swaging your own actual jacketed bullets. It's been a really long time since I saw that video. But that's pretty awesome that you were doing that at one point. Because, like, casting's one thing, but to actually swage your own jackets and find any kind of uniformity out of that, that's a whole different process, brother. That one was long. He was like 20-25 or something. Ugh. I hate this little handle here. I have still not gotten a golf ball to stick on there. But I actually have the world's finest trimmer, I think it's called. You stick it on your grill. Woo-woo, and it indexes off the shoulder there. It's really fast, but it's also put up in storage right now. So I'm using this method, which isn't really much slower because I'm still checking every case, but dang, this one's really short. 1990. Lizard bedding in your dry tumbler. I've heard that. Where do you pick that up? Is that like TSC or Sam's or Costco or something? You just get like a 50-pound bag of it and it lasts for 4 decades or something? Because that sounds smart. I usually just get the, dry corn cob, untreated or whatever, but I do have some, the Lyman Turbo Bright Brass Polish or something rather. Yeah, that one's just barely over. Oopsie. Knocking primers out. I should see what length this actually trims these down to. The pet store. Alright, it's lizard bedding. I'm sure the pet store would have that. That makes a lot of sense, Mr. James. Look, it's perfect to the minimum. 2005. Good job, Lee, with your thingy there. So, around all of you guys, how has the component hunt been going? Have you've been stocked up for the past 20 years and you don't need anything? Or are you still trying to grab 1,000 primers? Maybe if there's a hazmat deal or free shipping or something? Or locally, are you guys seeing anything locally? What is the market like around you guys? I'm lucky enough to be about 20 minutes down the road from Mid-South Shooter Supply, but we also have like 3 or 4 other local places in town that have components, as well as Academy. So I have plenty of options here where I'm at, but I know some of you guys are more remote, and yeah, don't have local options, so on and so forth. So what has the market been like around you? Lizard bedding is fine and won't plug the primer pockets. That's actually good to know. Because yeah, is this guy full? No, I dumped it out, but since I do my brass prep before I run on the progressive, my Sprint primer catcher usually is just full of little single pieces of corn cob that fall out through my primer holes. So that's funny. Large rifle primers are very hard to find here in Tucson. Yeah, those are hard to find anywhere. Luckily, I don't do a lot of... this is like the biggest rifle cartridge I really do full house loads in, you know? So I don't need to ignite 80 or something 100 grains of powder, so I don't need to find Magnum large rifles, so that's even good. You know? Wow. But yeah, if you guys are finding large rifle magnums, that's pretty cool. I'm glad I don't have to use them now. What am I doing with the lube? Freaking idiot. Let me put that away. I need to put the lid on that. You got small pistol primers for $49 shipped from Norma? Dude! That's pretty awesome. Norma USA, is that like... I guess I'm not familiar with their website. They actually sell components and stuff? That is pretty cool. Making your own jacket bullet is rewarding. However, it takes a while to get place where, yeah, get to feel what you're doing. As is anything, you know, I'm sure there's a learning curve, but that's probably a more expensive one. Mr. Mark, what's up, brother? How are you doing this evening? It's been a while. Hope you're doing well. Okay, yeah, we're good there. We're good there. That's a long one. Where'd I put the, there it is. I couldn't see it. Up in Michigan. I got family up yonder way in Michigan. Meeting up with Chapin tomorrow. Chapin? Mr. William. That's pretty sweet. What are y'all doing up there? You gonna shoot? I bet. Because everybody should shoot more often. And you're up there before it gets too cold, because it gets cold early in the year up there. Snows like 6 months out of the year. Mr. Crash just got done loading up some 9 for the range tomorrow. Heck yeah, dude. What did you load up? What did you load up for the 9? What powder? Mixed brass? What kind of primers did you get? Did they cost you $89 freaking dollars still? What projectiles did you cast them? Haven't done much creating or spectating lately, but I'm good. That's good to hear, sir. I haven't posted anything in like 6 months, so here we are. I just decided to kick on the live stream. So here we are. We're just doing brass prep at approximately 12:28 a.m. November the 14th, 2024. Some pulled 115 grain FMJs, range trash special. Heck yeah, dude. Were they from American Reloading by chance? Because I was thinking about getting some because I'm out of 9mm projectiles, but that just means I need to cast. Why did I put it in the holder just to chamfer the case mouth? What a dummy. Yeah, anyways, so we're doing the 308 here because 308 premium mix package from American Reloading. I haven't bought one of those yet, but they were up the other day and I was like, ooh, I could use some of those to play with, even though it's random and you don't really know, so. 200-yard open sight, 1912 Modelo Mauser. Dude, that's freaking sweet. What is that, 8mm Mauser? I don't know anything about the different Mausers. I really don't. I probably should. Okay. But I just don't know anything about most of that Milsurp stuff. I actually have well, my only Milsurp I've ever had was a Mosin. And that was like 10 years ago. I traded it because of the old sticky bolt syndrome for something else that I just traded for another Mosin. So that's kind of funny how the circle of life goes, right? So I had a Mosin, traded for something. I traded that something I got from the Mosin for a new Mosin. Isn't that fun? CDVS? I'll do this in there. But who the heck is CDVS? What am I doing? There we go. Sorry, I get to talking and I forget what I'm doing with my hands, you know. I'm just standing here like an idiot trying to read, but I only know half the alphabet. I do have a public school education, thank you very much. By the way, Lake City was ran by Federal. They got sloppy at the end. They lost their contract to run Lake City Ammunition Winchester. I knew that Winchester did the Lake City thing now. I did not know that it was previously Federal. All right. Well, dang it, Federal. Why'd you get sloppy? Rechambered into 308. That's pretty sweet. That probably makes it easier to reload and shoot for, and yeah. Can't go wrong with the 308. You know, everybody wants to go shorter and fatter and longer bullets and all about the BCs, bro. Which I understand, but in these neck of the woods, you know, my longest distance I can ever shoot is 300 yards. And that's at the range I'm a member of that I haven't been to in over a year. I should probably go do that. So yeah, for me, I don't need to build a 1,000-yard gun. I am quite happy with the old 308 Winchester. Combat disabled veteran surplus had a sweet deal on it. Huh. I've never heard of that. I'll have to check them out. Are they new? Have they been around for a while? I really don't know. I felt like I was pretty in tune with most of the, you know, reloading space, but I find new guys all the time. But it's also, most of those are like Chinese spam sites, and you can always tell because the powder will have prices from like 2018. You'll see Varget for $189 for an 8-pound jug or something. That's how they get people. And then when you go to pay, you can't use a credit card or like any of that. You have to use your PayPal or Zelle or Cash App to where they can't ever be refunded against, or however that works. You know what I'm saying? So watch out for the Chinese sites selling Varget for cheaps. Been playing with the Grendel and Cass bullets. You got 1 3/8 inch at 100 so far. That's pretty good. And that's cycling your AR and all that fun stuff. Oh yeah. And is that one of those bullets that you modified also? Come on, come on. Yeah, this Lee thing, it cuts, it does its job, but it takes a little while. It's a little sticky, but it does a good job in the end. And I bet, unless I like just deburred too much off, it should be right at 2005. Yeah. Good job, Lee, I guess, on that. We did that right. I really want a 6.5 Grendel bolt action. I think I'm about AR'd out. Why did I grab that? Yeah, I have several ARs. And Grendel would be a great one, but I don't want to have another, like, fourth pile of AR magazines I have to keep separate from everything. So I do have a high amount of interest in a 6.5 Grendel bolt action. But then at the same time, if I'm going with the bolt action, I was thinking about just doing 6 arc, because I already have 243 Winchesters, so I already have 6mm bullets sitting around. And so these are the gymnastics my brain has to jump through. And at the end of the day, the only correct answer is to get one of all of them, right? Right. They've been around a while. It's almost all their stuff is pulled, including the powder. Sometimes they get crazy on shipping, but they are legit. That's good to know that they are in fact legit. I especially enjoy how AR, American Reloading, is always free shipping and free hazmat. So I've even gotten some pulled powders from them before, which I quite enjoy. I've almost used my 8 pounds of the Blackout number 61 powder. I say that, but I still can probably load another 2,000 rounds with it or something. Stuff goes a long way. I've been shooting the Lee 312-155, size to 310.5-ish, with 13.5 grains of that pull-down powder, and it does really well. Run around with my AR in my woods like a retard, and can you say the R word? Anyways, I can run around and train with my AR, but I'm shooting 300 blackout cast lead, so it costs like not 10 cents a shot compared to if you were to buy 5.56 for 50 plus cents for crappy Full Metal Jacket stuff. Yeah. Love the Lee trimmer. I do. I'm a fan. If I'm doing smaller batches like this, definitely good. But if I'm doing probably any more than these two, which I still have this bucket of the Federal, eventually it's going to be like, wow, this is a lot. I should have just, well, again, it's buried in the storage, but, you know. I could use my world's finest trimmer on the drill, but that's stupid loud. And we're here to just chat and hang out, so whatever, who cares if this takes a little while. We're just chilling. Oh my gosh, the chat's moving too quick for my small brain. Go up. These gloves don't work. Ugh. Oh. You had to modify the modify the bullet mold. The bullet was dropping undersize. Okay. I gotcha. Which mold was that? I haven't done a lot of looking into it, but there's, to my knowledge, not a wide selection of 264 diameter molds. Dang it. It's slipping. Ugh. Come on. There we go. Oh, come on, it's slipping again. Yeah, the Little Crow Gunworks, that's what I'm talking about. That's the one that I have, but it's not right here right now, so we're Lee trimmering it for today. Yeah. Federal running Lake City. The main thing was the necks being cut too short. Yeah, I do recall, like, all of my Federal 223 brass never needs trimmed on the first sizing. Never. Like, they're always way short. Apparently the military doesn't dig that stuff. It's got to be to spec. Well, that's absolutely why I like American Reloading. Yeah, the shipping and hazmat. Pretty much you see the price, that's what you're going to pay plus tax. It's pretty awesome. And I think right now they even have some like factory seconds primers that are apparently either too hard of cups. So if you have, you know, a hammer that hits hard enough, the pistol primers should work. And they have rifle primers that say that they're a low charge of the propellant they put in them. So like every 0.01 of them is a dud or some nonsense. So those are right above $200 right now. If you guys are needing some primers, might be an option for you to look into if you don't need it for your apocalypse stash that you need to be reliable. Oh my god, I can't move the chat. James says, I have a Grendel and a 243, so on the fence for the 6 ARC. See, you really just are going to have to buy both of them. Ha! Or, yeah, eventually get the ARC and have all of them. And then the same thing with the 243. I'm sure you've got a 308. You can just turn this brass into 260 Remington and use your 6.5 Grendel bullets at the same time. How about that, right? I kind of had this funny thought a while back because I have probably a couple lifetime supply of 308, like, you know, crappy NATO military stuff. But I was thinking, I'm like, man, I could get a 708, I could get a 260 Remington, I could get whatever the hell the 2508 is, I could get a, what is it called, a 220 Jet, or a, what's the 22 version neck down of a 308 case? I don't know, but it would be funny. And then you can go up from 308, you can get a, what is it, 338 Federal. And then you can go all the way to 358 Winchester, I believe. So just with the 308 casing alone, you can make probably, you know, 10 other cartridges. And I'll eventually plan on doing that. I thought it up one time and, well, someday I'll keep adding on to do it. Can you get the primer there? Yeah. Components, power projectiles, and primers are made right there at the LC ammunition plant. That's actually kind of cool. They make their own propellants and everything. Huh. Unlike the crap people believe that they buy it from vendors, government is not. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Because, you know, military and stuff. Yeah, I would also be independent and not rely on third parties from a commercial market. That makes sense if I was also leading a military. Let's make everything in-house. Too many calibers to have them all. Sir, with that attitude, yeah, it is hard, but if you just think like a dummy, then, you know, this one's tough. If you just think like a dummy and you just wait for silly Black Friday sales and get the cheapest Savage Axis they have and then eventually spend more than the gun upgrading it with the Boyd stock and the trigger and $1,000 worth of glass and no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, there's a lot of calibers. A whole lot. Do any of you guys shoot any of those other 308 parent case cartridges? 243, 260, 708, 338, what is it, Federal? Yeah, there's a bunch based off of this cartridge. What do you guys shoot from it? Isn't this what the, is it a 358 Yeti, I think? Slightly different than the Winchester version or something, so you can use cast bullets, or was that the Takotini? I don't know, man. There's too many of them. You're right, James, there's too many. Even with a different attitude like a dummy, there's too many cartridges. Oh god, it's slipping again. I am too, Crash. I have standards. I said that weirdly. I have standards, duh. No, I have these standards. I have a lot of 9mm, 308, and 223. And then after that, you know. 7.62 by 54 is your 308. Hey, that's fair. Ooh, James, crap. I put it up somewhere. You commented the other day about the rifle, the Mosin mount for the scope. I got the $12 mount off Amazon that you had mentioned, so thanks for the recommendation. Okay. I was thinking of getting a 308 because of the insane barrel life. That is a perfectly reasonable argument to get a 308, sir. +1 to 308. Go get you one. And another part of that is the brass is really, really easy to find. And like I said, you can turn it into 15 other things. But it, you know, what can't the 308 do? Well, it can't pass about 800 yards with a 168 grain bullet. Or whatever they say. Is that why they came up with the 175 grainer? Yep, pros and cons to all the standard rounds. I don't have 40 or 45, but I do have 38 and 357 as well. And I have 300 blackout because I have 223 and 308. And all those share, you know, similar components and whatever. So my silly mind is all about how can I use this elsewhere, and how can I repurpose this, and how can I use this one thing 10 ways? You know, I'm a cheap ass, let's just say that. How can I try and be a little more resourceful than just throwing money at it? Which sometimes costs me some extra money because I should have just paid a professional to do the job, depending on that project or whatever, but you know what I'm saying. Some of these cases feel really hard. Like obviously I just cut the crimp out of it, so it's only been fired one time, but it just feels really, really brittle. You know what I'm saying? Like you can just tell when it might crack or split on the neck after just 1 or 2 loadings or something, you know? Or I could be way off. Could be way off. I don't know. Cheap fast as you might, yes sir. Welcome aboard. Ooh. Drop it. Let go. Okay, there we go. That one was long. There we go. You wish Berdan primers were available again? Sir, That's the first time I have ever heard anyone ever say that. But apparently they have their purposes, right? .5 by 55 GP11 brass. Huh. What imperial measurement is 7.5? Is that like 290 something? I don't know. Millimeters hurt my American brain. Don't they have there's like 2 flash holes, and however you would deprime that, you'd have to line up both of those to get them out? Or is that something you can like just hog out and drill through and then just stick the new primer in? I really don't know much about Berdan primers, but I know that I don't want any of them. I've been trying to find some Mosin ammo, but I just ended up getting 100 pieces of brass because all of the available ammo, I need to measure this one. Ha! You know, all the factory ammo is about $1, $1.50, $2 a piece. And I have the abilities to reload. So why would I not reload instead of buy factory? Huh? Takes a standard .308 diameter bullet. Huh. That's cool. Berdan primers. What size case is that? Obviously it's 55 millimeters, so this is 51, so you're just barely bigger than the .308 case. Okay. Answered my own question when I started using my brain. Didn't know Berdan was reloadable. Yeah, I heard that it was, but apparently Crash says it's a big pain. But if you need some ammo and that's all you have, I bet you're going to find a way to do it, aren't you? Oh wow, what's going on there? Wow. I forget this laptop is a freaking touchscreen, but there's a heart in the way of the chat and I can't read your message. You have to get the RCBS Berdan deprimer tool. Oh, you just pop them out and you seat them like a standard boxer primer. Yeah. Well, that's good to know. I have seen that tool. It's like a hokey thing. You gotta like claw them out or something. You can't just punch through. I guess, yeah. Yeah, using my brain thing, it's all coming together again. Yeah. So Kratz is shooting some 9mm this weekend. What else are you guys shooting? What are y'all going to the range to do? This thing's starting to hurt my fingers. And I'm not even through the first bin. That's also another reason why the world's finest trimmer is, I like it a lot more than this. But we'll use him another time because he's put away. And I need to do this right now, so. All I know is I have many pounds of brass with everything else to keep you busy. That's how I feel. Yep. Shit, I don't need that. I just measured it. It has a chisel and hook to pry it out. Okay. I've seen somebody use it. It's been a long time. That's pretty sweet though. Good to know it can be done. And then I've heard if you do drill them out, and they come with little bushings you can get to install a standard primer. So I don't know if that would be an option for you, Mr. Thor. There's little bushings that fit around your standard primer before you seat those into the Berdan pocket. I'm sure you've seen it, but that is an option if someone else wasn't aware. Quality of the Swiss brass. It's really great stuff. What brand is it? Obviously it was from like 60 years ago, so they're probably not around anymore. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Wow, this one's really short. 1.986. That one's... I'm gonna knock all these freaking timers off. No, stop it! Anyways, that case is really short. GP11 ammo. I think that's what he said. But I'm a total dummy when it comes to like anything milsurp. I've heard that combination of numbers and letters before, but I really couldn't tell you what the significance of it was. Was made by their country's ordnance factory, much like the Lake City we were just discussing. Okay, that makes perfect sense. And this is a PSD piece of brass, not Lake City. What is going on here, folks? How did he get in here? Oh well. Oh well. I'll just try to pay attention and not prime it, but move it into the next box of dun brass that's separated from this Lake City, I guess. Oh yeah. Does anyone make boxer primer brass for the old Berdan cases? Somebody has to. I feel like PPU makes a lot of milsurp brass, so they might. But that's just a random assumption off the top of my head. But that's how I got my Moten brass, was PPU. And they always have all the Arasaka and Carcano and all those Mosins, all those milsurps that I don't know about. Oh yeah, there you go. Thor says PPU. And it's boxer primer. Heck yeah. Or you could use 284 Winchester. Huh. Interesting. That must be a larger bolt head than the 308, right? Did I measure that? I have the memory of a goldfish floating upside down. And yeah, I just measured it twice and I don't need to trim it. Ha! PPU is quality brass, great stuff. Well, that's awesome. Because in the Silly Mosin, I'm just going to be using, low-powered cast loads, so hopefully that 100 pieces will last me a very long time. I've had bad luck with off-center flash holes on the PPU brass. Mr. Michael, saw you up there earlier. How are you tonight, sir? And what cartridge was your off-centered flash hole PPU brass, if you don't mind me asking? I still need to slug my Mosin, but I already went ahead and got the oversized expanding mandrel for my Lee die set. That's just the 303 British expander, if you needed to know, because the Lee kit comes with a 308 expander, but I think I've got a 310 or a 312 somewhere in there. Excuse me. 284 necked up to 30 cal. The neck is a little shorter, but it works great. I'm sure after a few firings, it stretches out, right? And it's just like normal. PPU Grendel brass has a dozen reloads and doing fine. Well, that's good to know. I actually bought a bag of Starline Grendel brass because I know someday I'll get either a Grendel or an Arc, and I'll have brass because that's one of those things you can't find. And I may or may not be a hoarder, but I got something that I plan on using someday. It's only 100 pieces, but if I got a bolt gun, like I was saying, it's not going to be getting torn up by an AR. So 100 pieces should last quite a while, if I do say so myself. PPU is 223 and decapping. You had trouble, almost broke your pins. Sir, toss that crap out. I have heard of that. Not specifically from PPU, but just of people having off-center flash holes. And then, what's that decapping die people use? The Squirrely Daddy or Mighty Big Cat, I don't know. One of those industrial strength decapping dies. People say they just slam right through and make their own flash hole. Oh wow. This piece of Lake City says match on it. And it's even got this little cantilever thing going on. Camera from 2008, it's not focusing real well, but it says match and it has a weird cantilever thing down here. Perfect job every time. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's slipping, and it was really long, so I got a long way to go. And it makes my fingers hurt. Come on. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. Come on, get off a bit. Yeah, takes a little bit of pressure there, and that's... Whoop. Moving backwards. Look how flattened that makes it. That's why you gotta chamfer and deburr that crap off of there. Watch this. Yeah, that was one of those really brittle feeling pieces I was talking about. Where are we? There we are. Now it's perfect. Check the primer pocket. Very nice, very nice. Perfect. Got a new conversion kit coming for 38 special. Then you're going to reload for the first time on the brand new Dylan 550C. Holy crap, congratulations, brother. First time reloading on a progressive and first straight walled. I started on the 38 special when I first started reloading. That's freaking awesome. Wow. That's freaking sweet. What powder, bullets, etc. are you running with? That brass may need annealed. I would guarantee you that it needs annealed. That is not something I have jumped into just yet. But I completely 100% understand all of its benefits. Maybe that's something we'll get set up once I get the barn finished this fall. And maybe I'll get an annealing set up out yonder way. Probably just get the, what do they call it? The anal ease? Anneal ease. Some Berries 158s and Winchester 231. You know, I bet that'll work just perfectly for you. I've never used 231, but I hear many people are quite fond of it. That's one of those that's been around forever. Ooh. Where'd you order from? Did you get some get a hazmat deal or free shipping or anything like that? Because it's getting ridiculous out there for components and whatnot. It seems like, you know, almost every day someone's doing a free hazmat or free shipping. They're all trying something to push that shortage out the door that they have. Remember that whole powder shortage thing? What happened to that? Everybody's trying to mark down their stuff and do free shipping or whatever and try to move it. Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of a shortage going on, fellers. They're just trying to play us. Hey, I just measured it, but I forgot. They're way short. Okay. You're on an Annealy's and it's super awesome, works well. Don't you just like hook up a propane tank and let it run? Just keep it fed and you're good to go once you get your timing dialed in. It seems kind of like the way to go. I probably don't need the, what's the crazy thing where you just like stick it in and it's got like the smart sensory things and it knows your exact lot of brass. That's a little out of my league. I don't need anything to do with that. I mean, I'm sure it's an amazing product, but for me, my type of shooting, whatever, I don't need a model of that caliber. If you get what I'm saying. James has used 231 since the 70s. That's pretty awesome. Has it been Winchester this entire time? Because I know like a lot of them have changed and reformulated and rebranded, and DuPont and Alliant and Hodgdon, and you know, they've all changed formulations several times throughout the years. Is 231 as it was, or did they change it at some point? Get a little sip of water here. Gotta stay hydrated, folks. Take a drink of water. Or, what are you guys drinking on a Friday night? It's not hard to make an annealer. You made one for $50. I believe I remember seeing one of your videos a couple years ago about that. It's just like the Neelys with the couple wheels and the little torch burner. That's pretty sweet. But when it comes to like being handy, I'm not such a handy man. I can like build computers and reload ammunition and build a guitar, but if you wanted me to like hang this picture, it would take me longer. $231 is still the same. That's good to know. I just remember people talking about like Alliant 2400 and Unique and maybe Bullseye or a couple others have all changed over time. And if you're getting like, you look at old data and you have a new lot of powder, it's way different. Or if you have an old lot of powder you found and you're using new published data, that could be a huge issue. I've only heard tale of those things, but I don't recall any specific instances. Look, we're done with our first bin after this piece. But my finger's hurt. This one's long. Come on now. Uh-oh. I hear the little puppy out there waking up. I keep calling her a puppy, but she's like probably 14 months old at this point, which is, you know, still very much a puppy, but she's not like a puppy. There's no room. Are you using a shell holder for prep? If so, I never considered that. Seemed like it would. You know, so this is the Lee case length gauge and shell holder combo. You buy that and it comes with the appropriate shell holder. And then you're supposed to have... It generally comes with another cutter you hold in your hand or a drill. But I have this other attachment that lets it stick into a case prep center. And yes, it does use a shell holder. People use, they'll build handles, a golf ball or something to mount this to. That would be way easier. I have not done that. I should probably do that someday. I said that probably 4 years ago. But yeah, this is a shell holder, but it's not like a normal shell holder. It just fits right on here. And you lock in the case head by screwing this in. And that'll tighten. And then you can hold this into your trimmer. Ta-da! Done. But if you don't get it perfectly tight, the case head just kind of spins around between the shell holder and this other clampy part. And it hurts my fingers. So for smaller batches, this thing's great. But there are definitely much better methods for trimming your brass. I don't think the powder change load manuals did for liability. That could be true. Loads were hotter back in the day. You're probably onto something. That probably comes from like Elmer Keith just blowing up guns in his basement, right? Oh yeah, you can fit 30 grains in that son of a gun. But 11's the max, sir. No, we're going with 30. I just made that up, but you can imagine. Let's just shove more powder in there, right? Hands just about explode after 100 rounds. Yeah, that might have been 50 or so. I'll probably be done after this tub if I make it that far. which is also why I'm measuring them, because if I don't have to trim them, I'm not gonna. But this one was over, so. And yeah, I guess I could just kind of hold it and then hope I get as far as I need to. There we go. Come on, get. Okay, sounds like Puppy went back to sleep. Buy the cheapest universal bed driver on Amazon. Wait for that trimmer. Huh, interesting. So, yeah, this is definitely not my first choice for trimming. I need to get a drill press and stick the Little Crow Gunworks World Finest trimmer up in it, and then just done. That's where we're moving towards, but it's not where we're at today. Plus, I need a drill press for other actual projects, as well as roll crimping on the 12 gauge. I really want to work on some loads for that. I should probably have a 12 gauge range day here soon. Your buddy has some 40-year-old factory 30-30 ammo. Felt like firing a 30-06. That had to have been pretty stout. But the 30-30, you know, it's not really anything to sneeze at, really. It might have little round-nosed bullets, but they're 150, 170 grains. Let me, you know, they're doing more speed than the Blackout is. That's for sure, and if people think the Blackout is sufficient, the 30-30 has definitely been sufficient this entire time since its inception. How fast are those moving? Because in the 30-06, 150 grain in that's going, what, like 28 or 29 or 3,000 or something? Shit, yeah, 308, 150 grain is 2,800. Where's the 30-06? Oh, too far. 150, yeah, 3,000. So what, you got an extra 500 feet per second out of those 30-30 loads? Dang. There we are, 30-30. Yeah, 2,300. Woo! Those must have been cooking. What setup do I run for loading the gauge? 12 gauge. So I started with the Lee Loadall 2, which I still really like. I just haven't got it out since I moved. I then bought a Mech 600 Junior. That guy is freaking awesome. I love the Mech. And I also have the Dillon SL 6000 Zillion Progressive press thingy. That was Dad's, but he doesn't load anymore. So he was like, "Can you get this crap out of my garage?" And I was like, "You know, yes, sir, I can do that. Consider it gone." I really like the Mech, but if all you have is the Lee Loadall, that guy is pretty killer for what it is. It seems like a lot of plastic. It makes noises. It's not pretty, but you can load some really good ammunition on a Lee Loadall. That is for sure. Oh yeah, they fired from a lightweight lever gun. I bet that added to it. Missing a few pounds of stock and barrel in there. Ooh. Drop it. There we go. Yeah, it's not that I don't like recoil, but I enjoy shooting. I don't want to go and just beat myself up. So generally, I'm not on the top end. I'm not doing the most pissing hot hand loads you could ever come up with. Did I even measure this one? We're good. We pass. Used the lead little for years. Yes, sir. I mean, they work. There's a reason they're around. They hit a price point that nobody else can. They work really well. And if I really wanted to, I could have it set up over here just as a powder measure if my charge was close enough to the bushing. So it could be a standalone powder measure as well as a 12 gauge reloading press. Oh God, it hurts! Oh, it hurts! Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely done after this little bend here. I should have got out the old leather working gloves. Those actually have a bit of cushion to them. And they're probably not slippery like my lubricated gloves here. We're going to use the other hand because my other finger's hot. What was the factory load from that, James? That 30-30? Was it like a Winchester? Did it, ooh, I have something cool sitting somewhere. Did it look like that? Where's it at, dang it? There's no velocity or anything written on here, but can't see. There's no price either, but it's what it says. 2003, maybe. I don't know. There's not even ammo in here. I don't know why I have that box. I love when they don't need trim. Yay! Yay! That's 2 in a row. Alright. Ooh, aw. He's just 1,000th over. Damn it. Yellow box from the 60s. Dang! Was it originally yellow or was it white and turned yellow? Oh, no, wait. Yeah, I know what Winchester packaging you're talking about. Is it the old Western font or whatever? Winchester Western with a little horsey on it. I guess all Winchester probably has a little horsey on it, though. 170 grain. Those probably kick you pretty good. Or the intended target gets kicked pretty good. Mm-hmm. Yay. So this might sound dumb, but for most of my 223 brass, I just quit trimming it. I literally just stopped trimming my 223 brass except for my precision loads. Okay, those are under, don't need to trim. But yeah, I checked like 5 or 6 different chambers with the longest piece of 223 brass I've ever seen ever in the history of ever. And they all closed the bolt and locked perfectly. And so after that, I decided I no longer need to trim my 223 brass for crappy 55 grain blasting loads. Which is good to know, because I'll either split a neck or blow out a primer pocket or whatever. There. Okay. Yeah. Before it stretches too long. Does anybody else skip one of those important steps, such as trimming? Kick much more than the modern ammo. Yeah, I bet if it felt like a freaking 30-06. Oh, it's so long. How do they stretch 7 thousandths after sizing? That's crazy. If so, pretend it was already at 2015 the maximum, and it stretched to 2022 just from getting sized. That's freaking crazy. That's a lot of stretch. Does that insinuate whatever chamber that came out of was like sloppy and it blew out and then you size it back down and it stretches? I don't know how that really works, but I mean, I can conceptualize how that works, but when it's stretching and moving, I'm not too certain on. Because it's in your chamber, right? And it goes bang! And it fills out to your chamber walls, right? And then when you size it, it's going to squeeze all this down. And this material can't go anywhere. It has to go this way, right? So, bleh. I guess that's how it works, right? Mm-hmm. If you push the shoulder back too much, it'll stretch more. That makes a lot of sense. I wasn't using the rifle to check as I was adjusting the die, but I was using my headspace gauge, and it was, you know, proud of the maximum, and I just kept coming down slightly until each of the different head stamps I went through were sufficiently sized, so we're not too far sized. We're probably just around the minimum requirement, which if I had actually measured with the comparator was probably like 4 or 5 thousandths of a little bump, just guessing. Because this gauge doesn't know if it's going to go into a bolt action or a semi-auto, so they have to make the spec work on everything. So it's probably 5+ thousandths, I'm thinking. Random thought, I couldn't tell you. That's why I'm here. I'm the dummy, I'm just asking questions. And then I wait for you, fine gentlemen, to educate me. Yeah, I love when they're not long. Alright, So I see James over there in the chat. Who else do we have here tonight? It says we've got 14 viewers. So if you haven't already, say, hey, what's up, dummy? Hope you guys are having a good weekend so far. It's Friday. If you guys are doing anything super awesome, exciting, fun, let us know. What are you up to? I'm chilling here in my spare room doing some brass prep on a Friday. Isn't that exciting? My wife is out of town for like almost 2 months working, so I get to live like a bachelor, which is pretty freaking boring, fellers. If you haven't, go find you a woman and quit being a bachelor. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. 66. I've had a bunch of these. Lake City 66. I have no clue where they came from, but these are like twice as old as me, dude. I don't know. You know? I don't know. But apparently I already reamed those out at one point. With 2,000 shoulder bump and staying under max loads, you really rarely have to trim. That makes a lot of sense. As for my 243, I try and bump it as minimal as I can. Sometimes it just turns out to be a neck size, and then I have to like really try and close the bolt hard, but they still work, right? But yeah, for the bolt action, if I know it's going in the bolt action, then I do the bare minimum. I still need to reload some more 243. We kind of started a series working on some dialing in some precision style stuff. Had a couple good rounds with the 70 grain flat base from Spear with IMR 4064. Had a couple like 0.3s and 0.4s at different seating depths. But I want to use that same bullet with Peterson brass, so supposedly higher quality than just reformed 308 Hornady picked up off the ground. So we should have better brass. And I also want to try Vihtavuori N135. So that should be able to give me the same velocity that I was at, which was 3550 with the 70 grain and 243. Should be able to easily do that with the Vihtavuori N135. Damn it, it's slipping. So I want to use a better powder. Well, potentially better, higher. Fuck, piece of shit. God damn. Sorry, pardon my mouth. The brass slipped and it hurt my finger. Anyways, I want to try with better components to see if I can get more 0.3 and 0.4 groups with a pretty much factory Savage Axis. And when I say pretty much, I mean it's factory. I just put a scope on it. And then I cut about half of the spring out of the trigger, so that lightened it up considerably. I still need to fine tune that a little bit, the Savage Axis trigger, because I don't want to buy, I don't want to dump 150 bucks into a Timney or something like that. So chopping off the spring is my pretty much best bet. I guess there's a couple third-party springs you can get for your Savage Axis for like 20 or 30 bucks. So that might be something to try, but for now I'm just gonna probably chop off a little more of that spring on the trigger. Eventually, I would like to get a Boyd stock for it. Can't go wrong with the Boyds, right? Did I even measure this stinking case? But yeah, the Boyd stock, it's going to be like $250, $300, which was the cost of the rifle, so I don't know if I really want to do that. And right now I actually don't even have the scope on it. So, you know, not doing a whole lot of 243 and without a scope, I can tell you that much at least. But I did, funnily enough, the RCBS cast load I was working on, I loaded up a couple hundred of those. I want to just put a red dot on the old Savage Axis and do some stupid steel plinking at, 50 yards or whatever out in the woods. Gotta pay attention. Does not need trimmed. But yeah, 243 cast bolt action with the red dot. Would that not be about the dumbest thing ever? Sounds like a lot of fun to me. So I'll probably be doing that here someday. I don't know when, but don't need to trim it, no. 0.3 and 4 is awesome for a hunting rifle. It really is. It kind of freaking blew my mind the first time it showed up, and then I tried it a few more times. I was like, wow, that's actually repeatable. Did I do that? And apparently I did, so that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool, right? Pocket. Yeah, that would be a fun load to maybe go prairie dogging with, which I've never done. I've never really done a whole lot of hunting at all. I have sat in a few tree stands waiting for some deers to pass, but that was a doe. We don't want him. I gotta wait for the big feller, and they don't ever show up. So a few times I've been out, never really got anything. H335 and 4895 and Varget. I've heard a lot of people like Varget. I'm a big fan of 4064, except IMR is stupid expensive these days. $62 a pound, I think it was. That's why I just ended up buying the Vitivori, because it was less. So that's why I have Vitivori to try out instead of 4895, or 4064 rather. And it's supposed to be great for the Mosin 3030, 223, some lighter-ish 308 loads. So it's supposed to be very versatile, as well as temp stable. It's an extruded powder. Should be, consistent, all that good stuff. Had such good luck with 4064. Yes, sir, 4064 is amazing, but you cannot find the H4895 anywhere. I've never tried that one because, once the COVID stupidity crap took off, that was one of them that they make less frequently than a lot of the others. And they jacked the price up, so it was like as much as your Vargets and H1000 or, their extreme extruded powders. So I was like, man, I'm not going to spend 50 plus bucks on this bottle to test a few things. And then if I find a load I like, I'll never be able to find the powder again. So then, do you just go grab the powder that you've used and works? Or do you keep trying new stuff? Oh God. It feels like there's a split in the neck. There's just a little ding where it hit the feed ramp or something. Not split though, so that's good. What loads with 4064? What bullets are you using, Michael? What bullets are you shooting in the 308? Can't wait for these American Reloading premium pull-down package or whatever the hell they call it. Can't wait for those to come. Should have some like crazy looking terminal ascent from Federal that they don't actually make for reloaders. Probably lots of the ELD stuff, different burgers and Barneses, and mostly Hornady 168 and 178. That's pretty much what you should be shooting out of a 308, sir. Good call. My gun, my Browning A-Bolt, is quite fond of the 168 Sierra Match Kings and the 175 Sierra Match Kings. I tried some 165 Hornady SSTs. I was going to make up a deer load, but I couldn't get those under like 1.5 inches. And I know the gun can shoot 1/2 inch with the Sierras, so yeah, American Reloading used to be a little hidden gem, and then like 6 months ago it just took off and now everybody knows about it. But I have probably, aside from buying powder and primers locally, most of my components have come from American Reloading. They've always got the primed brass, which is nice, although I've never bought any of it, because it's all pulled down and it always says, make sure to resize this primed brass before you use it. I mean, of course, you could just take out your decapping pin, but then you have to worry about lubrication and contamination and whatever, so it comes with whatever. Two years ago, you blamed ammo's sake. You know, I'm willing to bet they contacted AmmoSeek and they said, hey bro, why don't you put us in your directory there? And then now Mr. American Reloading is paying Mr. AmmoSeek for exposure. And it apparently paid off. But yes, the prices are freaking ridiculous. A couple weeks back, I got one of the 55 grain, 62 grain mix pulls or whatever. Out of the whole thing, there were only 6 62 grain bullets, which was perfect because I only load 55s for the most part. It's just easier and cheaper and whatever. So to only get 6 62 grainers and 994 plus 55 grainers for 3.8 cents a piece, that's making me happy. And that's enough to fill up another ammo can and have some good times at the range. It's totally possible. Yeah. Have you been on Shooting Bot? That site's pretty crazy too if you're looking for something specific. You can get on text alerts and whatever. And you know exactly when any store receives anything in stock. Has anyone loaded for a short barrel 308 or 700s at the Smith? Ooh, getting a 16-inch proof barrel. Huh. The only 308s I've shot and loaded are 22-inch barrels, but in my mind, you would want a faster burning powder to make sure all of that gets burnt before it leaves the barrel, and then 10% of your powder just turns into a fireball. So yeah, pick a slightly faster burning powder perhaps, or just stick with Varget and 4064 and you'll be golden. Of course, shooting about gun deals, all that good stuff. How about the Discord? Are you on the Reloading Discord? Because they also have alerts and a few other sites that I don't think Shooting About or Ammo Seek are affiliated with. Oh, come on! This probably sounds like a dumb question, but I bet once you anneal, they trim easier too, don't they? Because it's like softer material. It should just cut like butter. Oh. Yeah, Discord is usually like for video game nerds and silly crap like that, but discord.gg/reloading, and it's like got different chat rooms and alerts and notifications and all kinds of good crap like that. There's pretty much every different cartridge that's popular there's a channel for. There's different brand channels, so you can go talk about Hornady or Lee. There's a Wildcat channel, an ELR, shotgun, cast bullets, whatever you want really on the Discord is there. It's pretty cool. It's not as active as it was a couple years ago, but there's a in-stock notification channel, and you can sign up for different components, and people post things like, oh hey, this store has large rifle primers in stock at this price, here's the link. And then you can react to it or whatever. You can like it if it's still in stock, or people usually leave the little turd emoji if the pricing is bad, which is everything these days. So, you know, it's very useful. There's even state channels, so you can do local meetups or trades, stuff like that. There's a buy-sell trade channel. You can sell brass and other components. Obviously, hazmat's its own issue if you want to deal with that. But it's a very useful tool. You can get it on your phone or on the old computer there. Probably more useful on your phone though, if you're usually on your phone, unless you sit and work at your desktop to get those notifications. So yeah, take that for what it's worth. And it's kind of weird at first. You have to like talk and chat and communicate to earn points to level up to unlock a few of the channels, and that's just so they can keep out bots and spammers and whatnot. The Reloaders Network Discord. I should probably join that. I don't think I've joined the Reloaders Network. It's probably something I should join. Probably something I should join. The network of Reloaders. Man, it's like everyone I'm pulling out is long as hell. Has anybody got into 3D printing yet? I've been saying I'm going to for years now, but someday 3D printing, it's on the horizon. I'm going to make all the crappy Glock clones. Not just printing Glocks. I'll print all the stuff. Measurement, Sorry, it's getting late. I've been up since like 5 a.m. and it's almost 2. So the order of operations is hard to follow right now. Did I already trim it? No, it was just short. Derp. Yeah, I'll have to check it out, James. Thanks for the recommendation. Oh, yeah. Am I double retarded? I'm losing my mind here, fellers. Measure. Yeah, we're good. Okay. You'll print bullets? Dude, I've seen someone do that. You make like a 20 grain little projectile and you can do little, you just use primers and you can practice in your garage or whatever. Okay, measure. Short, trim, chamfer, there we go. D-bird. I'm literally losing my mind here, folks. Good thing we're almost out of brass, right? He's long again, dang it. Wish I could have some cool music playing without, God, it's slippery and it's stuck and it's spinning. I'm getting beat by that piece of brass, guys. The hell? Many YouTubers are on Turn Discord. Oh, the Reloader Network. Ah! That makes sense. Reloader Network and... oh, my back. Been standing all day. Okay. Don't need this case gauge. If you could pick one rifle and one pistol cartridge for the rest of time, what would it be? So that's just the loaded cartridge. I can put it in any gun or any platform I want to. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying, Mr. Michael? And pretend I had a suppressor and SBRs weren't a thing and we could just have what we want. Is that the rule? And also, what application here, bro? Is it one hunting rifle or one CQB setup or one ELR King of 2,000 miles setup? Because, man, these aren't gonna... They're all different, dude. Okay, that piece looks done. Done handling it. But that is a very tough question. Pistol cartridge. Pistol cartridge. Probably just 9mm. Yeah, probably 9mm. It does everything I would need a pistol to do. Unless I was like defending myself against bears. Maybe we want to go from 9mm up to the centimeter. But then, my recoil and I can't stay on target. That's an argument. So probably 9mm. Just maybe. You can hold a crap ton of it. It's light. It can take a whole bunch of different bullets. I kind of want to try loading some 90 grain XTPs and hit like 1500 or something. That would be sweet. I feel like that would be a pretty cool carry rig. Yeah, 9 mil. 9 mil for pistol. Rifle. That's really tough. We were just talking about how great the 308 was earlier. We were just discussing that. Imagine trying to conceal carry a 10 would be tough. See? Yes, that's also hard unless you want to only carry like 5 rounds or something silly. You know? So 10 millimeter, probably not. I'm going to stick with 9 mil on that one. But if you went with something like, let's just say 357 Magnum. You can conceal that really well. And I can also grab a 20-inch lever action and push a 125 grain bullet almost 2,000 feet per second. I think that's a pretty good option with the 357 Magnum. Because you said only the cartridge, you can use whatever gun you want. That would be a pretty good one. For self-defense, you don't normally, statistically, don't need more than 3 shots. So if your revolver holds 5 to 6, 357 would definitely be more powerful than your 9 millimeter. And then the bonus of being able to use a lever action or single shot or whatever. And then with the slower burning powder, you know, you can really get some oomph coming out of those. But I bet your max range would probably be like 200 yards to like ethically take something. I don't know. Mr. Gerald, what is up, brother? Your first rifle, or your one rifle would have to be 30-06. After all, it has won 2 World Wars. And your handgun would be 9 millimeter. Well, sir, if winning 2 World Wars is the criteria, then that means you have to carry your 45 ACP at the same time. Because of that whole 2 World Wars meme that people joke about. Right? Looks like I already touched case mouth. Okay, we don't need trimmed. The Smith & Wesson 340 PD would make sense. Is that a revolver? I really don't know specific gun models that well. I probably should, but I got the Glock and I got the AR-15. So that's what I can identify. But you said Smith & Wesson, they're known for revolvers, so I'm trying to connect the dots here. Maybe. PD, is that like police defender or police duty or something like that? Ooh. J-frame super lightweight 357. Okay, yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You know what, it probably holds 5 if it's super lightweight or whatever. And again, with the people are like K-frame, J-frame, L-frame, N-frame. I do not know a single thing about the different frames, especially because Smith & Wesson's frames are different than Ruger's frames and so on and so forth. So I'm not overly familiar with those. Be cool and go with the 460 Roland. Make a man out of the 45 ACP. I've heard of the 460 Roland. Is that just taller case so you have more powder? Is that how that works? Is that how that works? Love the 45, but doesn't hold as much as the 9mm does. Nope, sure doesn't. And that's also why I would be a proponent for 9mm. You can hold, 21 rounds in some handguns? Given their full size, it'd be hard to conceal or carry or whatever. But if you need a friggin' handgun with 20+1 and a spare mag and you got your appendix carry, you can do that. Forces roll is basically 45 ACP major. I thought that was the 45 gap. The Glockenspiel Auto Pistol. Is that what that stands for? I just made that up. That sounds pretty sweet. What was that? Is it like 45 maximum? I don't know. I don't know. There's too many. You could probably just make up a number and then make up like a couple letters. Oh, the gap is a short 45. Yeah, you could probably make up any combination of letters and numbers and call it a cartridge, and it would be hard to challenge. I have no idea why the gap was made. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all. Because the diameter is still 45, so you're not going to be able to fit any more into a magazine, even if you make it shorter in this dimension. That is really silly. I'm not a smart man, but that don't make no sense to me. Maybe you could use less powder to get to the same pressure or something. I really don't know. James, I was going to say 300 blackout. I was holding it in, but yeah, I think 300 blackout would 300 blackout would probably be my forever rifle cartridge. And I don't even have a can, but if I had a can, I could use it for what it was meant for and actually run suppressed, but did I measure again? Jeez, dummy. That was made because the short cartridge is able to run a 9. Ah! So instead of like, you just do a barrel swap, change your slide, and now you can have the 45 gap out of your Glock 17 or whatever. Is that what you're saying? That's kind of cool, I reckon. Okay. That makes sense now. See, everything happens for a reason. Here. Come on. Here we go. But yeah, you'd still only be able to hold, what, like 7 or 8 rounds in a full-size handgun? Which would still... Yeah, I'm not sold. I think the 45 gap sounds stupid. But for the ability to just swap your slide or whatever and still have one gun, that'd be a pretty cool little conversion thing. But aside from that, that sounds ignorant. That sounds really silly. That's like some 30 super carry kind of train of thought. We're bridging this gap that nobody knew needed bridged. Did you want to hold more rounds than 9mm but not be as good as a 9mm? We've come up with the 30 Super, which is just a slightly longer 30 Luger or something. Which is, yeah, 30 super carry, that's a silly case. Sorry if I'm offending any 30 super carry fanboys out there, but I just That's just trying to solve an issue that doesn't exist. Oh, so pretty. Glock 37 and 45 gap, 10 round capacity, and a Glock 17 size frame. Huh. Okay. That sounds formidable. Gotta go with you and James. 200 Blackout is a pretty damn good choice. Very versatile. Yeah, and like I was saying an hour or two ago, my longest shot I'm ever going to make is 300 yards, and that's if I'm at a range. Otherwise, everything is wooded and there's hills, and I'm going to be closer than that. So 300 Blackout, definitely. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Mr. Mig, how are you, sir? Welcome aboard. It has been a minute. Hope you're having a good Friday evening so far. We're just here working on some 308, talking about silly pistol cartridges, talking about if you could only have one pistol or one rifle cartridge, pick one of each forever. You can only have that. What is it? Right? 9mm, 300 Blackout. I think that's where I'm at. I think that's where I'm at. To be fair, as I understand it, the 30 Super Carry was made for countries that ban civilians from carrying military cartridges. Makes no sense in the US. That's a pretty fair assessment there, sir. I could be. I'm not too up on my my other 2A friendly countries out there. I don't know who else allows carrying, handguns in general or whatever. But that's pretty cool for them. If federal wanted to corner that market, I guess. Right? Right? I don't know. That's cool though. They found a way to do that. Measuring grades, 270 and 10 millimeters. See, I said 10 millimeter earlier. I started with 10 mil, but then I was like, full size, so on and so forth. 270, that's a good one. Somebody else said 30-06, very similar. Same case, different diameter. And I've just been holding this case for 10 minutes. Let's see if it needs trimmed. I guess not. Okay. Forward 22. Yeah. You can make proper defense loads for nearly the same price as 5.0. Yes. And if you cast, like I was saying, I train with my 300 Blackout AR because I can shoot it for about 10 cents a pop with cast bullets compared to, even if I reload 223 as cheaply as possible, it's still a quarter, 30 cents a shot. So for a third of the price, I can run around like an idiot in my woods with my 300 Blackout and, the same feel and form function and all that fun stuff. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, Blackout. It's very, very versatile. Brazilians and Mexican civilians carry its 30 Super Carry. Good to know. Learn something every day. Does, who do you think they get their ammo from? Is that like Aguila or something? No, my Blackout cast loads are 160 grain supersonics, going like 1650 to 1800 depending on the powder I pick. Did I measure it? Jesus. You guys keep distracting me with this conversation. I can't focus on measuring my brass right. Haven't started reloading Return of Blackout yet. Stuck paying a boatload for ammo. Dude, if you want to save money reloading, 300 Blackout is where you want to be. And then if you cast on top of that, it's like double, triple, quadruple savings. Yep, pure lead or an alloy. I just use range scrap. I literally go to the range and I pick up individual projectiles straight out of the dirt. Sometimes I use a little kitty pooper scooper to kind of sift the dirt out. But generally I just throw the projectiles in a bucket. I melt all those down on a turkey fryer, clean it out and make ingots. And then I take those ingots of range scrap, throw them into my Lee melter, and I cast my range scrap alloy bullets. Yeah. But 300 Blackout, they've got bullets like 80 grain frangibles. Those could probably go like 3,000 feet per second or something silly. And then you can go up as heavy as like 265 grains, I think I've seen. Now that's a heavy subsonic slow moving turd right there. Pook. It's not moving fast, but it's just not going to stop. It'll just plow right through whatever. Okay, nice your dart. Short, good. Yeah. They probably get the ammo from the ATF. Sir, you are absolutely correct. You are correct. That's more than likely. Do I need to run a gas check? I have gas checked about 1% of anything I've ever cast. Probably less. No, I've probably shot 100 gas check bullets in my lifetime. You do not need gas checks when you're powder coating. Yep. I tried them in my 243, see if that would actually help. It made that particular load worse. And I only have that one bullet, the RCBS 24495. So I have no other 6mm projectiles to try that gas check with. So now I have about 950 of them left over. That's pretty sweet. But I did get a 30 caliber gas check punch die. It works pretty well, but it's a lot of work, and I didn't see the improvement on paper, so it's a big waste of time and materials at this point. So I have foregone gas checking. Yeah, gas checks are, I don't want to say gas checks are useless, but they're definitely a thing of the past since powder coating came to be. It totally changes everything. And how that changes everything, I couldn't really tell you. I don't know, it's basically a polymer jacket that protects from leading. So as long as you can get the bullet to obturate to your bore without being like a zillion PSI hotter than it needs to be, you know, there's a sweet spot where you can have functioning and velocity and all the things you need, but if you want to go too slow, it's harder to get functioning without the right powders. If you want to go too fast, that's also hard to do with cast bullets. But gas checking can, however, provide you with a very even base. So although, you know, you cast it and it looks like it's square and flat, a gas check, you know, ensures that there's one surface that evenly gets pushed on as it gets ejected down your barrel. So a gas check can provide uniformity on your base if you have issues or tear out with your mold. Yeah. That was probably a lot of rambling. I don't know if that made any sense. Yeah. How are you powder coating at home? What's your setup? So you take like some Tupperware or a coffee can or some kind of plastic. You dump your powder coat into that with your bare lead projectiles and you shake it around. The static electricity helps the powder coat stick to the projectiles Those will then go into a toaster oven for approximately 20 minutes at 400 degrees. And then they come out of the toaster oven into the water quench. And then I size them appropriately. That's how you powder coat. Don't care, so I can't speak on it, but I thought gas checks were an extra padding. Yeah, I mean, but traditionally, gas checks also protected from flame cutting. That's when the, gas and pressure goes by the sides of the bullet before it gets sealed and obturates properly. The gas check with that uniform base also helps prevent gases blowing by. And so as you increase pressure, that can further reduce the amount of flame cutting as you increase pressure. Did that make any sense? Oh. Like gas checks in the 44 mag, could run them a bit hotter. Well, that makes sense. Of course, if you're really pushing on the hot end, they will help you. But for my purposes, again, being the super cheap ass that I am, I'm going for like volume and consistency and like speed and ease of production and whatnot. And I have yet to see the benefit of a gas check in my specific situation. So that's why I'm at where I'm at. Okay. I only got 2 pieces of brass left here, fellers. So the sizing operation doesn't wreck the powder coat. So to know if your powder coat actually sticks, you do what is called the smash test. And you literally take your bullet and you beat the crap out of it with a hammer, like on an anvil or something hard so you're not slamming through your desk. And you flatten the bullet out and you'll notice your powder coat either adheres properly and kind of stretches along with it, or it'll crack and flake off. That's called the smash test. Oh, no problem, Mr. Crash. I can ramble on forever, but I don't know if it makes any sense. So I appreciate the questions. That's like half the fun. Most of the talking I did was questions today. So, we're all here to learn stuff, right? I am a dummy after all. Oh, this is the last one. Oh, yeah. My last one, I still have this whole bucket of federal cases there, but those might be for tomorrow. Yummy. All right. Oh, yeah. You run powder coated 18 to 21 without a gas check? Yeah, I would say 2,000 is right about the limit. I usually try to stick at 1,800, and if I can find some accuracy right around 18 or 16 to 2,000 is generally my goal. If I can hit 1,800, I'm in business there. Especially with my range scrap alloy, that's where it seems to pretty much work for everything if I can keep it there. But yeah, 2,100 is totally doable. Are you using wheel weights, Mr. Pollard? I never got to collect the wheel weights when those were big. And I never went around town to any of these tire shops like I should have by now, but yeah. Hell yeah, sharing knowledge. One of these days I'll be a caster as well. Yes, sir. You don't have to do it all at once either. You can piece it together and get your sizing die for $10 sometime. Just throw it in an order, buy a mold, melting pot, and eventually you can collect your own lead from the range as well. Casting sounds like the new adventure. Especially for 300. Yes, sir. Actually, is it this? That one? No, is it this one? Shit. Oh, camera. Where'd we go? This ammo can down here is nothing but 300 blackout projects I have to work on. Oh, we got some Eggleston 200 grainers, subsonics to play with. I have a whole bunch of crap that different viewers have sent me that I really need to use. I haven't forgot about you guys, and I really appreciate it. I will get to these someday. But as you can see, I've got like 50 different things in here to play with. And like I was saying, the versatility, this is like 112 grain bullet there. And then you can go as big as, what are these, like 240 or something silly? So yeah, the blackout and casting is where it's at. Oh hey, here's the, this is my normal plinking blasting 160 grain bullet. Mixed brass, usually Lake City, but there's a list. If you need the 300 Black Talk forum, just search like what cases you can cut down from 223. That's a great resource if you have a lot of brass laying around to convert. So yeah, 300 blackout. That's my final answer. 9mm and 300 blackout. Those are my two forever cartridges, right? Yep, wheel weight alloy gets you to 2100 with powder coat. Do I have to melt the new 300 black content coming? Sir, I told you I just got a bolt gun and I have all this crap to try out. You might not have been here for the bolt gun. Yeah, I have a gun over here. I can't talk about it because we're on a live here, but I got a Mossberg MVP. It takes AR mags, 16-inch barrel, 300 blackout. Super fun. And I was currently, where are we at? These are the Mid-South exclusive black poly tips, which is just a VMAX clone. Come on, camera, focus. Yeah, anyways, 110 grain VMAXs, but with a black tip. I want to make a really sweet load in the bolt gun for that. And then, yeah. I'll probably just see if it works in the other ARs and be happy with it. Yes, please, more 300 black content. Sir, I agree. As I just called it my forever cartridge, I should probably do a lot of that. And I don't have a can like I said, but I do want to actually work on some subsonic loads and be like, oh, look, it's subsonic. It works in my, you know, my 8-inch pistol and it works in my bolt gun too, and whatever. I wish this, how do you make this thing get out of here? Heart. It's like, I can't read the chat because there's a heart stuck on it. Ugh. I want to see that too, but teach me some new ways of the 300. Sir. Alright, okay. I have a playlist and you can learn how to make your brass if you haven't so far. But we have all kinds of bullets. I probably have more powders that work for 300 blackout than any other cartridges, so I've got plenty of those to try out. We could do primer testing, we could do crimp testing, velocity. I don't have any gel, but I have a crap ton of laundry detergent jugs I've been saving, so I can shoot all those and blow those up someday. That'll be fun. Have I shot any loads with the Mid-South 110? So I was, didn't record it, but I was really fumbling around with the scope most of the time. But I was using H110, and I worked up to 20 grains, and that was right at an inch for the 20 grain charge. No pressure. So I want to see if I can get to maybe 21 grains. Although I wasn't using a chronograph, so I don't know how close I am to that 2400 velocity that is listed. So I don't know if I need to move up anymore, or if I can expect better accuracy than an inch. I don't know. I had a really not my best scope on there. It was just a 4 to 12, not expensive Vortex scope, so I could probably do better with different glass on there as well. If you have a 300 hour pistol, you only need one gun. You're not wrong, James, but you know it's faster to pull out your secondary than to reload your primary. So I can just let my thing fall on my sling and pull out the pistol, right? What cans you running on your blackout? That's a good question. I don't know anything about that market at all, because I don't want to be on another watch list. You know, who knows how many we're already on, but I don't want to be on that one with an invitation for them to just come say hey. So the ATF can suck it. Not buying a can right now. Sorry. Usually run the Rex Selenium cans. See, I don't know what any of that stuff means, but they sound nice. Or, you know, these 3D printers, they're coming along these days, and I've seen some people making some cans or stuff. You know, I don't know anything about it, but it makes them quieter. And they're made out of plastic. Yeah. Under $750 with the tax stamp? Huh. It's rated for belt fed full auto. Huh. That sounds like fun. My buddy has one of the really old AAC 30 caliber ones that came out like 10 years ago. So I've used that one. I have another buddy with a 22 caliber can on his AR. I don't know what it is. Make a video of a 3D printed can. Sir, I don't have access to that, nor would I participate in such activities without the proper licensing from the proper government bodies, because you know, I don't do anything like that. But I would love to one day make a video on a 3D printed can. But I gotta get a 3D printer first. And again, I wouldn't ever do that without talking to Mr. Uncle Sam first. Cans are as low as $50 in other countries. They are. They actually consider them hearing protection. And it helps keep noise down, and it doesn't disrupt wildlife, and all the pros that come with using suppressors, all the other nations seem to recognize. Do you want him to have 10 years in prison? Would I only get 10 years for that? Only 10? What is it? Also like a $250,000 fine or something fun? That's nothing these days. Just move to somewhere in Ohio, move into some kind of Haitian community, and they'll give you everything. Wait. Sorry, we gotta keep the politics on low here, folks. Okay, we have devolved from where we once were. Thanks for hanging out, folks. I'm going to wrap it up tonight. We got some brass trimmed up, sized, everything. I need to go and find my tumbler out of the storage so I can get my lubrications removed. But that's going to be it for now. Thanks for tuning in, folks. I'm going to try to go live a little more often And I'm going to try to be getting videos out here soon. I was just taking a break. No excuses, but here we are. I'm not going to say full speed ahead, but we're here. We exist. And I really appreciate you guys hanging out and, being here. So thanks again. And we will see you guys on the next video or live stream or whatever. So peace.